person. So, never done this before. Really, truly, I've done accidentally. But anyway, I have a huge, massive rant, and I am so mad that I need to get on here and say this because, well, quite frankly, someone needs to say it. Okay, so, I was told that I was a right-winged, mega kind of person. And at first I didn't quite know how to take that. And then I got a little offended by it. I have never been like one political party. I've always voted, based on the person, based on their policies, and based on their character and things that they have done in the past. That is how I have always voted. That is how my parents have taught me to vote. Or, you know, like I learned from them how, you know, they voted or whatever. But here is my biggest, like, issue. Okay. All right. So you say I am far right. How am I far right? What about my beliefs are far right? Okay. And this is where my biggest bone is. I was born into a cult, not just a little group of friends, like, you know, hanging out, a full-blown cult. Look it up. Shawano, Wisconsin, cult. At the age of 12, I was sent to live with my sister. While I was living with my sister, I decided to go to public school in pants and my hair down. Well, I got caught. Honestly, I was afraid for my life quite a bit during that time, or when I got caught, so I ran away. When I got picked up 2 weeks later, I think it was 2 weeks later, I was told that I needed to stand up and apologize in front of the entire congregation for running away and for wearing pants and my hair down in school. In my heart of hearts, I was not sorry at all. I was not sorry at all. In fact, I enjoyed my time when I ran away. I had a blast. Nobody was telling me what to do, where to go, how to sit, Anyway, at that point in time in my life, I knew that I could not say sorry and mean it. And I was taught at that time, or believed at that time, that if you lied, the earth was going to open up and you were going to fall into a big, huge, fiery pit down below you. That's what I believed, because that's what we were taught when we were kids. So when they told me that I needed to stand up and say I was sorry, I couldn't do it because I didn't want to go to hell. I didn't want to fall in that fiery pit of hell. So I didn't. Because I chose to do what was right. Hold on, I gotta plug in my phone because my phone's gonna die. Because, oh shit. Oh, dang it. Okay. So, because I didn't want to fall in a fiery pit of hell, I decided not to lie. And I said, I'm not sorry. Due to the fact that I wasn't sorry and I wouldn't stand up and lie in front of everybody, I got kicked out of my house. I lost my parents, my siblings. I lost the house I slept in. I lost everything. I was kicked out on the street on my own. I lived on the streets. I stole from food and clothing and things that I needed from Kmart, Shopko, and Walmart. Okay? That's how I lived my life until a very wonderful lady kind of rescued me, and I got taken into their house. That's another whole story for another whole day. Anyway, the second time that the rug got pulled out from underneath me because I decided to stand up for what was right was when I was older. I had found out that one of my sisters had gotten into some issues with being molested. And so I went and got her out of the cult, got custody of her. I found out later on that after all the running through and getting the police involved and getting charges filed and all of that shebang, we were doing good. We were finally settling in. Things were great. Not great, but they were good. She was adjusting. We were in therapy together. We were doing good. I decided to let her go live, or not live, sorry. I decided to let her go visit my other sister who was in a different state. During that time, that sister decided to have my other sister who was living with me, my younger sister, recant her story, and sent in the recantation or whatever, the letter recanting her story behind my back. I didn't know any of this until the police officer called me and said, what happened? Why did she recant her story? I then called my sister, who was the one who had my other little sister at her house. And I asked her why she did this and why she would think it's okay to just let somebody get away with molesting your little sister. That aren't you supposed to stand up and like take charge of charge these people, get them out of society so they don't do it to other people? Because if they do it to one person, they'll do it to another person. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? Isn't that a good person? And her reply to me at that time, now, mind you, she was in the cult. Mind you, she was in the cult. But her reply to me was, it is not our job to punish people when they do evil things. It's because it's God's place to do that. The Lord Jesus Christ will be the one to punish him when he dies. It is not our place to put him in prison for doing something like that. Once again, because I stood up for what was right, because I said what was true, I again lost everything. No longer did anybody speak to me. I was evil. I was horrible. I lost my whole family again. So, when I spoke up my mind, I'm going to cry. I don't want to cry. I hate crying. Anyway, when I spoke up my mind about the masks, about the vaccine, about closing the schools, all of this stuff, I didn't say that it was 100% wrong. I said that I didn't think it was a good idea, and there were reasons why I didn't think they were a good idea. And for everybody who told me that I was a conspiracy theorist, everybody who said that I was crazy off my rocker, well, guess what? I told you so. So once again, in my lifetime, my family has told me I'm crazy. I'm loony. I'm this. I'm that. Well, guess what? They are all out of the cult now. And who was right? Me. They now say that, yes, the man that sexually molested my sister should be sitting in prison. And well, he is in prison because he did it again. So he's actually sitting in prison right now. That, yes, they should have done it. Now it's coming out, well, masks didn't quite work the way we thought they would. Vaccines don't quite work the way that we thought they were. All of this is bullshit. We knew this stuff beforehand. And instead of stopping where we found out what was true and correcting our course, everybody just got pig-headed and said, no, we're going to continue this way because I don't care what anybody else says, we're right. COVID, all of this stuff could have been an educational thing for all of society. This could have united the United States. This could have brought a bunch of us together. This could have been an educational form for, the health departments, about washing hands, keeping clean, and all of these things that help with all of this stuff. No, instead, we get crazy, psychotic, mask wearing. And you know what? The other thing that I have to say, and this is one of the reasons why I really despise masks on children, because when I was little, I was forced to wear diapers over my face for being naughty. So I walked around with freaking cloth diapers all over my face. What do you think that did to our psyche? What do you think it did to us as little kids? I know what those little kids are feeling like wearing those damn masks over their face and they can't see or understand the full expression of somebody's face and how terrifying that is. I understand it because I lived it. I understand what it's like not to be out socially amongst everybody. Kids need school. It's part of their growing up process. And when you keep them out of school and you keep them out of society, it damages them. I know because I experienced it. I wasn't speaking just because I thought I was high and mighty. This is stuff that we all experience. This is all stuff that we know. This is all stuff that has happened in the past. This is not the first pandemic. This is not the first time that masks have been forced on people. This is not the first time for all of this. So for somebody in my family to tell me that I am far right wing when I just literally speak what the truth is and how I see it, and I do my research. You want to know the truth about something? Follow the money. Follow the money. That is all you have to do. You want to know why somebody is believing the things that they believe? Follow the money. Find out where they're getting their money from. Find out what political things they are in. This is crazy. That the way society feels right now, to me, is how I felt when I first got out of the cult. I'm not lying. That's no joke. Seriously, the way society is, the way people talk to me, the way people are afraid to stand up and say what is right. Someone has to stand up and say what is right. I don't understand this. The main issue I have with growing up in the cult is that you had a shit ton of people that just stood on the sidelines and didn't say anything, didn't do anything because they didn't want to hurt people's feelings, because they didn't want to, disrupt something. So because you were too much of a coward to say something, because you were too much of a coward to hurt someone's feelings, because you were too much of a coward to do what was right, a bunch of children in Shawano, Wisconsin are now screwed up for the rest of their life. And it's not just the adults that were in the cult. It's the adults that were in the public that knew what was going on in the cult. It's the adults that were around that knew what was going. They knew and did nothing about it. The cult is still going on and nobody does anything about it. It's still there. You can go. You can see it. You can drive by. You can look it up. It's still there. Why is it still there? Because nobody says what is right. Everybody is too afraid. Don't want to hurt their feelings. Or, it's none of my business. Bullshit. It's time for everybody to start stepping up, start speaking out on what is wrong. It is wrong. This masking children is wrong. Lying to people about the vaccines is wrong. When you have presidents of the United States of America standing out for the whole entire world to see and lying, and then it's okay, nothing happens. How many politicians out there right now do you see stand up and straight face lie and nobody says anything about it? I watched the debate with Governor Whitmer. I don't even want to call her that because she's just disgusting in my book. How can she lie? Outright lie about how long schools were closed. Nobody does anything about it. Nobody says anything about it. They just keep marching on like it's not a big deal. When are people going to start standing up for what is right? If you see something wrong, you don't have to be a jerk about it. You can say it nicely. You don't have to be an asshole. But you need to start standing up for what is right. And you know what? Quite frankly, I have lost everything more than once in my lifetime. I won't crumble. It'll hurt. It'll be devastating. But I will survive. I will keep going and I will keep doing what is right because that is the only way you can truly, truly, truly be free and be happy with yourself inside. Really, truly. Like, I just don't understand. I don't get it. So call me whatever you want. Call me a Trumpster. Call me a mega whatever. I don't care. I really, truly don't care. I have been right before. I will be right again and right again and right again. And for everybody who says that I am crazy and a conspiracy theorist, in 3 years from now, again, when I text you and say, well, conspiracy theory here, told you so. That is my rant. I feel better. I hope everybody else feels better. Night, y'all.